All right, now we're recording. So, like I said, Lisa's been doing this for well over 2 years, and she interviews a different 200K every Tuesday. And it's great to hear from different 200Ks in the company, especially those that aren't on our team that we don't hear from normally. And I'm excited for today's call because we are going to talk to a woman who's not on our team. She's a sideline of ours. And I actually have never heard her story, and I'm really excited to hear it. And funny, I'm horrible with names. And I'm like, okay, how do you say your last name? And she's like, just call me Coop. I'm like, I love it. I love it. She's like, that's my brand. I'm like, perfect. It's so simple and easy. Let's do it. Let's go. So I want to introduce you guys to Coop. And yay. And so easy, right? So Coop, thank you so much for joining us today. I appreciate you saying yes, and I know it's probably not what you expected with me, but I'm very thankful that you still wanted to do this with me, talking with you and sharing your story and any tips, hints, and tricks that you have for everybody that's on today. So welcome, thank you so much.
Thanks, Danny. You're so sweet. I appreciate you so much. And thank you for the introduction. What's up, you guys? I am Coop, aka Chelsea Cooper Tesoriero. I know my married name it's a big Italian name, but I just go by Coop. That's something people have called me for years and years and years, and it's just kind of stuck, and it's easy. So here we are. I have been in the industry of network marketing for over 5 years. I was with another company prior for about 3.5 years, but it just stopped aligning with me. I knew this industry had so much value, but I didn't understand that not all companies were the same. I didn't understand that there were companies out there that allowed you to run a business for free. I didn't understand that there were companies that paid you weekly instead of just monthly, right? And that our community was here, and I started struggling in my last gig, regardless of how much effort I put forth. It was never getting ahead, and it was only crumbling. So that was very disheartening. And that's when I started looking. I actually came in as a balanced customer. November 28th was my first day. I put in my resignation at my last company, and I switched November 28th, 2018. So coming up on 2 years. Again, I started as a balanced customer. We all know the power of balance. It is the bomb. And then I tried a 3-day mini experience, which I'll always tell you guys to lead with the product because it is so powerful. And then right away, I was like, what is this? Day one, I was a day one thriver. It stopped me in my tracks. And I was like, holy moly, I feel like Bradley Cooper in the movie Limitless. Like, I can do all the things. So with that being said, I was ready to go. And we just hit the ground running. I think that a lot of people see people go to the top maybe quite quickly or hit different ranks quite quickly, but they don't see the hardship prior to that. So I was struggling where I was, right? My piece was disrupted. I had to find another way. And then once I found a place that aligned with me, it just kind of took off. So I have been a personal trainer for over a decade. That is not my main source of income. My business is my ride or die full time. And I used to travel the United States talking on a microphone with Dodge Chrysler, which was a blessing, but I was never home. I literally had to sign a contract for like 10 or 11 months, and I was never here. I was an event manager. I kind of worked all the odd jobs, just trying to find my passion and where I belonged. And where I found was that I belong here, and I belong helping people. That's really something that lights my soul on fire. So here we are, 2 years full-time with Lavella next month, and I feel better than ever. I'm just as excited as I was day one, if not more excited.
I love that. All right, so you had a previous life before network marketing.
Oh, yeah.
How did network marketing come to you, and how did you find Lavella? So how did you start with network marketing, and then how did you, start with Lavella, and then we'll go from there?
Yeah, I was a hater of the industry, but the funny thing is I was uneducated. You know what I mean? Like, how many of you guys can relate to that? I want you to pop it in the chat. How many of you guys can relate? You were seeing somebody kind of post on social media, and you're like, if they make how much money online, quit lying. Or they're getting healthy from, the supplement, like quit lying, whatever that looked like to you. That was me, but I was always a fly on the wall. I was always watching, and I was like, okay, like obviously, like I have a fun job, but I'm never home. So I wanted to regain my freedom of time. That's what I wanted to do. The income, I see on the cake that we are in an uncapped industry, which is a blessing. But for me, I was like, finally, I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. Thanksgiving, I was required to work. Christmas required to work. So it hit me when I was sitting in my hotel room one Thanksgiving when I was FaceTiming my family eating McDonald's on the hotel bed. And I was like, this is not a way to live. Those are the moments you don't get back with your family. And sometimes those are the last times you see family members. So I was like, this has got to change. Right. So I prayed really hard. I was that hard-headed person. I was like, God, come on, like put an opportunity in my path. Let me know it's the right one. And finally, this just kept showing itself to me. Right. Granted, I was with another company at the time. I just jumped in because I was like, I need to save myself. Be your own hero is what I preach to my team. I'm like, be your own hero. So I just jumped in and I said, I'm not going to look left. I'm not going to look right. I am just going to be, you know, a beginner, a constant student. I'm going to ask all the questions, maybe come off kind of annoying, but hey, I'm going to do this. So quitting was never on the table for me ever. I just said, I saw people doing this and I can do this in a way where I'm authentically myself, not where I'm a walking billboard, not where I'm spamming people. And it just took off. But I've had those hardships. I've had a lot of life happen in that time frame. But my business has never been secondary to me. I wake up and I want to succeed as bad as I need to breathe. So it's a life or death thing for me. And then I want to teach my team that and set that example and be the leader leading from the front. So that's kind of the beginning of my network marketing industry is I just wanted to be my own hero and regain my freedom of time and make that change for myself.
Great. And so you were with the previous company.
Mm-hmm.
And then how did you find Lavella? You said that you were a customer first with balance. So did you see someone on Facebook or Instagram, like a friend of yours? And why did you make the switch from your last company to this company?
Yeah, I was in a place I held on probably for a year and a half too long where I was, because I was there for about 3.5 years, and I tried to make it work. And then finally I kept seeing these people just happy on my newsfeed. And I was like, what's going on? Like, what's going on? They were in my industry, but they were just constantly just energetic and happy. And I was like, what is this? So, I was following my mentor, who is now one of my best friends, Courtney Glaser, and she had obviously been with a previous company and came here, and she was having massive success, but she was also being herself, you know, and she was in the moment. She was with her babies. I don't have children yet, but I wanted to set up for that life. Right. And I reached out and I was very apprehensive to watch because that was like a no-no where we were here. Right. So I was like, you know what is this $15 balance? And even till this day, sometimes they'll roll out like the promo with the credits. And I'm like, it's an ongoing joke. I'm like, Court, balance is on sale. It's not really on sale. It's just the credits. But that changed my life. And then right away we were on a Zoom call and we were chatting. She sent me a sample and that's where it stopped me in my tracks. My background as a trainer, you can imagine I've used a ton of different supplements. So when I used this, I was like, what is this? Literally day one, I was a 2 to 3 day cup of coffee a day drinker. And I didn't even make a cup of coffee that day and I walked out the door. So the product changed my life, but then I saw the simplicity of the business structure, and all companies are not the same. They're not. I don't know any other company that does what we do. We are so blessed to be a part of what Paul, Jason, and Drew have created. So the fact that I wasn't going to have to pay for my own product every month, the fact that it wasn't a mandatory fee, the fact that I could get paid weekly, the fact that I could be authentically myself and not feel like I need to push a product because I felt amazing. So I could just preach that from the rooftops and have a passion for what I'm doing now. It just changed the game. So really it was the simplicity, but the product spoke to me first. And then I saw the business structure and I was like, game on, let's go.
Yeah, I actually started with the business first before I even tried the products, because I was with a previous company as well. So I completely understand, like, you hold on because you're always told, just, next quarter or just wait, and you're always holding on for hope. Right. And then my sponsor and mentor is Jamie Pekka. And when I reached out to her, she told me all about the products and the company. And I'm like, no, there's no way. And you're right. Not all companies and comp plans are made the same. Like what we have here is truly, one of a kind. And so I love that. Okay, so you came in, you said you're coming up on 2 years?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when you came in, tell me a little bit about your timeline. Did you hit your VIP bonuses? Like how long did it take you to hit 4K, 12K, all the way up to 200K?
Awesome. So obviously I was fired up when I changed because I was sick and tired of being sick and tired and spinning my wheels where I was. Exactly like you said, you know, you hold on, next month's going to be my month. And realistically, that can be very true. But when you're in a simplified business structure, when you get your mind right and you start leading with the product, things do grow quickly and compound. So once I had that hardship and I came over here, I was fired up. And I was like, I'm getting the 400 pack. I ended up upgrading to 800. And I was like, I'm sampling my way to the top. And that's exactly what I did. I will always tell you guys, lead with the product because it speaks for itself. So I went 12K in my first month. That December, I believe it was like double volume. I think one of those awesome, crazy promos that they always really roll out. So that happened. The next month we went 40K. I went 80K 4 months in. And then it took me a year exactly. I went 40K in March, 80K in March. And then a year later, exactly, I went 200K. So we always maintained, but it was a huge, I mean, that's a big jump, $80,000 to $200,000 in volume, right? There was a lot of personal growth that had to happen there. There was a lot of leadership skills that had to happen there. There was a lot of just continuous growth, you guys. It's not something that, you know, you see leaders that just run to the top and that's fine. But sometimes people aren't ready for that layer of leadership and they can crumble. And then maybe you have to rebuild and people are always going to leave your business. I've had a lot of people leave, but I stayed on my grind. I said, okay, I know that's a part of business and I know not everybody's going to catch the vision. Sometimes people quit on themselves and that can hurt. But then again, it's not your job to convince somebody to stay. Your time is valuable and you get to work with who wants to work with you, right? So don't feel like you have to consistently try to raise the dead, so to speak, breathe new life into people. And those that want to be a part of what you're doing will 100% do this alongside you. But yeah, so 200K happened when the world went upside down in March. And we have maintained $500,000 ever since then, which is completely mind-blowing to me because the same efforts that I was putting forth where I was prior is paying off tenfold here. And it's the excitement, it's the simplicity, and it's leading with the product. But mindset is key too. I pour into myself every single day. I make sure I'm callousing my mind because there's a lot of things that can happen in our lives that can, you know, take the wind out of our sails and make us fall to our knees crying, you know, praying to God, which we should be praying to God. But I'm just saying in a sense of negative situations, you have to understand that your business isn't secondary to you and you need to pour into yourself. You need to grow your mind, pick up a leadership book. I listen to John C. Maxwell all the time, Eric Worre, Mel Robbins. I listen to all these amazing people. And I even have this book here. It's Damon John. He's one of the sharks from Shark Tank, The Power of Broke. We read this as a team. So if you want to learn about, you know, business and being the underdog that kind of ends up taking over and changes their life, the trajectory of their life, pick up one of these because it's the bomb. But that's something I'll always do, and that's become a habit for me. So that's been my journey to 200K. There's, you know, success is a roller coaster. I always say you're going to get on, you're going to go hit the corkscrews, you're probably going to want to puke a couple times and maybe get off. Can't get off of a roller coaster, you know, so you're along for the ride. And then as long as you stay on those corkscrews and you ride it and you stick it out, you're going to get to where you're meant to be. So hopefully that analogy makes sense, but that the ride to success is not a straight line by any means. And your leaders that you see succeeding right now, you didn't see maybe the hardship they went through in the past. So it's just a whole growth journey.
Yeah, absolutely. I know we see many times where people come in and they go fast. They hit the ranks fast and then they kind of stall. And I wouldn't call, you know, going 200K in less than 2 years stalling it by all means. But, you know, we all in any, you know, level that we're in, we always hit, you know, roadblocks or have, you know, people quit on us. And so have you, I know you touched on that a little bit, but have you come into anything like that? And I know you said personal development's huge for you. How do you get past that? Like, you know, because I know it can really be detrimental to people's, you know, mindset and their business when something like that happens. So what has happened and how did you get past that?
I mean, during this time of growth since I've been with Lavella, I mean, just little things in life that can take you out of the game, just not feeling, you know, up to par one day versus the next, right? Even those little things. Sometimes you're not excited. Sometimes you wake up and you're just not excited, and that's just human nature, but I still show up. So it's that form of consistency that compounds, and that right there, even, you know, discipline, knowing that, hey, you know, life happened, I still have to show up. So for example, my dad was rushed to the hospital twice in 1 week. I believe it was right before like we went 200K, and it was just severe anxiety. He thought he was having a heart attack, right? It's amazing what anxiety can unfortunately do to the body. But I was with him, you know, until 4 a.m. at the hospital, and we had a morning meeting at 9 a.m. I was still on that morning meeting. So you have to understand that negative situations can either take you out of the game or it can help you level up. So I could have made an excuse, you know what I mean? Like, absolutely, I could have slept through that meeting. And I'm not saying like, don't take time for yourself, but when you take time for yourself, don't let it happen for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks where you put your business on the back burner. Don't let these negative situations happen where you're utilizing it now as an excuse to just lay in bed all day and not do something that's actually going to change your life. Use this to catapult your story, because that's something that you're going through and that's something people can relate to. I mean, different aspects, right? Like maybe your father didn't have the same situation as mine, but just a situation that really scared you or took the wind out of your sails, where you can speak on it and just be like, look, I went through this. I don't know who can relate, but I got back up the next day. I strapped on my bootstraps, and we showed up. We showed up, because sometimes that's all you can do is just show up. I hope that makes sense.
No, absolutely. I think that's, you know, showing up, being consistent every single day. And because I think everybody goes through something, whether it's, you know, everybody goes through something personal, you know, and that's what you do when that happens is what's really going to catapult you. And because it could set you back. And I love that, you know, you didn't, you know, you didn't let that deter you from reaching your goals. And, you know, so I love that. Thank you. Okay. So especially right now with what we're going through, growing our network can be a challenge, because a lot of people, you know, we're not able to get out as much and talk to people and let them see our DFTs. But I know for me personally, I do most of my, I grow my network on social media. So what do you do to grow your network? Is it social media, Facebook, Instagram? And what tips do you have for other people who are trying to grow their network? They might be new, or they're just trying to, you know, they're building their business. So what type of tips do you have for them?
Absolutely. First and foremost, always be authentically yourself. Don't feel like you have to be a walking billboard. People want to see that you're passionate about what you're doing and how you feel, because that gets them excited. I'm very intentional with the people that I follow. I'm following people in my niche. Think about, I always call these brand bubbles. If you throw it back to like your high school days, I'm a very visual person, so pen to paper is like my thing. But whenever I had an English teacher say, okay, this is the topic we're going to write an essay on, I would write a big bubble and I'd put the topic in the middle. I'd branch off to subtopics. You know, what are my essays or my paragraphs going to be based off of? So how I spin this to like branding yourself is that center bubble that you would put is you, like the topic is you. So what are the subtopics of your life and things that represent who you are? For me, I'm a hockey wife. My husband played pro. Now he's a coach. I'm a personal trainer of over a decade. I love philanthropy. I love giving back. I am a dog mom. Just all these things represent me. So now from that, you can spin off and tell your story in multiple ways. And now you're filled with ammo for your posts, if that makes sense. Because people want to see into your life. You know, having a sale going on is fantastic, but nobody cares about a sale. They care about you, and they care about what this is doing for you. So you need to understand that you can spin the product into sharing you at the same time. So with those things, I know my niche. Now I'm going to go and follow like-minded people. I'm going to follow maybe other sisters in the industry, not in a sense to ever cross-recruit. It's not about that, but we already have the same mindset. You know what I mean? Like, we're already in the same wheelhouse of growing. We're already in the same wheelhouse of positivity and mindset. And then maybe I'll go and follow another hockey wife. Maybe I'll follow dog moms. Maybe I'll follow. So it's people that are in your niche and things that you can relate to them on. So you can follow hashtags. You can follow boutiques are great. Following people that are on social media, because I work predominantly on social media. So that's what I do. And then when it comes to connecting with people, I am interacting in stories. You'll see my face all day, every day on my stories because people are nosy. I mean, they just are. So they want to see into your life. So I make sure that if I'm going on a workout or a walk or something, I'm going to share that with people, right? And hopefully it'll inspire people to want to be healthy. But then people are also going to see my black, white, pink label or my ultra. People are going to see certain things in my stories, and now they're going to ask me questions, right? But I am always interacting in stories. I'm always building genuine relationships. I'm not going to slide into somebody's messenger and say, hey, do you thrive? I'm just not going to be that person because unfortunately there's a bad stamina in this industry of people cold messaging. And if you want to send a message, make sure it's heartfelt. Make sure you're genuinely interacting with the person and being yourself, because now people aren't going to be annoyed by that. People are going to now go and be more nosy and go look at your news feed and say, oh, what is this that you're doing, right? And then it also opens up the gateway of the conversation for what we do without it being icky, if that makes sense. So hopefully that helps.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think, like you said, like getting your face out there, letting them see, you know, your DFT, let them ask the questions, and, you know, leading with, you know, you showing like your product, and, you know, let them come to you, you know. I think, you know, I don't know if we were the same previous company or not, but we were, you know, it was very cold message, spammy. It was copy and paste, you know, for every message. And I think that, you know, coming over here was like a breath of fresh air, because that was one of the reasons why I left my previous company, was because I felt it was like gross about, you know, because that's how we were trained.
Right.
And coming over here, it was so nice, because our products sell themselves. You know, we could go live and they see our DFT and they're asking, what is that? You know, I get that all the time. So I love that. Okay. So also with what's going on, a lot of things have been canceled, events, getaways, conference. And hopefully we're gonna, you know, right now we're in the process of earning our next lifestyle getaway, which I'm really excited about. And hopefully conference will be coming up as well. So how important do you think it is to get to events? And it doesn't even have to be like, you know, a lifestyle getaway, but those are huge for me. But like, you know, conference, or even like a living room local or a local in town, you know, it's like just to be one-on-one or with other like-minded people. How important do you think that is?
It's vital. It's a lifeline to your business. If you're not showing up to these things, I mean, I don't know really what to tell you. And I say that in a non-rude way, but I say that with some real talk because of the fact that you leave with a burst of energy, and success loves positive energy and speed, right? So whenever you leave these events, or you even attend them in the moment, whenever you create them, maybe you're hosting them, there's an energy that comes about from that. And let me tell you, your energy can either reflect people to you or deflect them. Okay. So if somebody sees that you're hyped up and you're vibing and you're excited, more people are going to be drawn to you. More people are going to be like, well, what are you doing? Like, what is this? I've been following your stories. Like, what's going on? And you're going to get people in your inbox that are curious about the community at that point, right? But not only that, again, it just breeds success. It breeds success because you're going to learn so many different golden nuggets, and you have no idea who is going to speak to you that day, right? I mean, like, speak to you, like soul talk. You don't know what you're going to leave with, but you will always leave with something. So whenever Conference in Thrivepalooza does get reannounced, hopefully, like you said, Danny, in the near future, you guys get your butt in a seat. Get your butt in a seat. There's nothing like being there in person, right? But there's a reason that people feel like they maybe promote quicker right after, and it's because that burst of energy is there, and that positivity is there, and that excitement's there, and it literally will carry your business through to the next level.
Yeah, absolutely. I went to my first conference 3 weeks after I started, and with Lavelle, and let me tell you, it was just huge, just because you may be in an area where you don't have a lot of different thrivers, And so sometimes you can feel like you're on an island, you're alone, and just going and meeting everybody, your uplines, your sidelines, getting, your downlines there as well, let them meet you. And it's just, it catapults your business. It catapults your mindset, and just hearing different stories, and it's huge. I think conference Threadpalooza is like the number one thing I think everybody needs to attend every year, and they do such a great job with having it like later in the year and not right at the beginning of the year, so it helps us go through the summer, and so I love that. Okay, so my next question is, what do you do to bring on new promoters? Like if I was in your inbox today and I'm like, okay, Coop, I'm ready to join you, I want to be a promoter. What does that look like? And how, like in the first 14 days, what do you do to bring on a promoter?
I'm just reading the chat. Is it Shadia? I don't want to pronounce that wrong. I'm also not the best with names, so forgive me. But she mentioned voice clips. I immediately send a voice clip right there because she hit the nail on the head there. People hear your passion, and I'm going to answer their questions, but I'm not going to give them information overload. I want people to hear that I'm a real person. I want them to hear that I'm excited. So if somebody hits my inbox and that, like, just had a lady do so, and she based off of my story from yesterday, right? So she's in my inbox. I'm going to respond to her in a voice clip. Not only that, I'm going to get her over to Facebook, because if I'm on Instagram, I always say Instagram's like meeting somebody at a bar. Facebook's like bringing them home. So if I'm interacting with somebody, like, judge your mama, not me, but if you're on Instagram and somebody connects with you there, I bring them over to Facebook, right? Facebook's usually like family, friends, whatever. So we'll connect there. And at that point, I'm going to ask her what her goals are. I'm going to say, okay, like, what do you currently do? Like, let's dive into that. I want to throw it back to that individual because it is about them. It is about helping them change their life. This isn't about us. This isn't about our paycheck. We have to live this business selflessly, not selfishly, right? Create the impact, the income will come. Income, let that be secondary, because you're going to help so many people. Then you're going to wake up one day and you're going to be like, whoa, gangster money. Like, let's go. But it's not about the income. That's just icing on the cake. So when you relinquish that income side of it, and you genuinely focus on personal growth and helping people, people will sense that, and they'll sense it in the conversations that you're having when they do hit your inbox, and the game just changes. Your business will just change, right? We tend as humans to overcomplicate things. Keep it simple. Lead with a product, show your face, grow your mind, share who you are every day authentically, be yourself, because that's more than enough. You are all enough, and you all can have success 100%, but you got to relinquish the limiting beliefs. And then once that person, they tell me their goals, I spit a little bit of fire, get them hyped up, like we're going. I'm like, okay, well, I can create, a customer profile for you if they want to be a customer or if they want to be a part of the team. I'm like, let's talk about what's feasible for you. I never talk cost right away, ever, because sometimes people assume that's the only cost there is, in a sense of like, oh, $200 or $400, I can't afford that. I always want to know what is in their wheelhouse of being affordable. So I'm like, shoot me a number. Let's see what we have to work with here, right? Because I don't want them to feel uncomfortable. I don't want them to feel like I'm trying to take more money than I have to, because sometimes people think that with us in this industry, right? Make it about them. Let them answer that question. We know that we have free product credits. We know that we can find something to benefit them, right? I always enroll people on a promoter pack, especially right now with Cabo up for grabs. Don't sell yourself short on the 400 packs, the $400 packs. Don't sell yourself short on any promoter pack, right? Because the thing is people need to be utilizing the product to be passionate about it and to be able to speak on it firsthand, right? I always say it's kind of contradicting when somebody isn't utilizing the product, yet saying how great it is. So that's always my emphasis. And I tell people that I'm very straightforward, I'm very kind, but I'm very much an open book. And I'm like, look, we want you to take off running. We want you to have enough product for yourself, because you're not going to want to run out when you start thriving. And you're going to want to have enough product to sample, lead by example, and sample to your friends and your family, because I guarantee you people are going to notice that extra pep in your step. They're going to say, what are you doing? Because that happened to me. So I always make sure I'm having that conversation with them and just seeing what's feasible, and taking that route and then hooking them up that way. Because just like Kyla said too, be a product of the product. You have to be. You have to be, because that will set you up for success.
Yeah, absolutely. So once you get them on, they're signed up, you sign them up, and they're purchase their upgrade. Then what do you do, like training wise? Do you have like just focus on the 2 and 2? Do you have them just focus on one VIP at a time? Like how does that look?
Yeah, so we get on a Zoom call right away. And you guys, you're going to enroll people that will never talk to you again. We've all experienced it, I'm sure, and that happens, and that's okay. That goes back to what I said earlier about giving new. It's easier to give new birth than it is to wake the dead, right? I'll never give up on people, but I will not chase people. I just won't. My time's valuable, just like all of yours is. So understand that you're the professional here, right? But I get them on a Zoom call, and I break down the VIPs right away, and we go 2 and 2, VIP 800, 800 in volume, 2 upgraded promoters, let's go, and 2 customers, right? Let's rock and roll. And that, I mean, simplicity is key. You know what I mean? Don't overload them with information. We do have an amazing team page that Court created even before I was here. So we plug them into the units there, which does, again, break down the VIPs and takes people through the 3 steps, things like that. But I always make sure to get them on a Zoom, because that there's just something there, seeing somebody. I mean, we can't really be in the flesh, if you will, right now because of COVID, but just seeing somebody and being there and walking them through, they really appreciate it. And that's something that's very important, is getting on these calls and getting them on a call and then launching them that way, and having them understand, like, look, you have 14 days and this is up for grabs. It's not something that's required by any means, but corporate is gracious enough to give this amazing incentive, and it's right there in front of you. I'm going to walk you through hand in hand, and we're going to knock this out. And then if people don't earn their VIPs, that's okay, right? There's millionaires in this company that didn't earn their VIPs. Why are they still here? Because they kept going, right? So I just have that very real, friendly conversation. What you see here is what you get from me. And I just really want you guys to focus on being authentically you, and don't feel like you have to be this robotic person. Just be a friend to people. But that's what we do. We get on a call, and then I walk them through VIPs, and whatever questions they have, we go over it there.
Yeah, I think that, I love that we have the VIP bonuses right when you first come in, because it shows, everybody the basics, the 2 and 2 to become successful and go up the ranks, right? And they're able to make money as soon as they come in. Because like I tell everybody, you're in this business to make money, not to, to get out of debt, not to go into debt, right? So, like I tell people too, like I hit my VIP 800 on day 14, and I missed VIP 1600. But 7 days later, I hit 4K, and now I'm 80K. And, we do over 100 grand every month, so just because you miss your VIP doesn't mean that you're not going to be successful. You have to keep going and keep pushing, just keep doing the 2 and 2 every month, as a minimum. And, you'll get to where you want to go. You get to reach your goals by helping others reach theirs. Right. And I think getting them on Zooms and, video calls and things like that are huge as well for new promoters, because they get to see your face, because, a lot of the times your team that you're bringing on are not local. So there's not something that you can meet up with them. A lot of them, they're not people, personally. So having them see your face, and, that's like, I think the next best way than meeting someone, in person. So with that, do you guys just you and your team utilize like third-party validation? I know a lot of people, like in the beginning, used third-party calls. Now we do a lot of third-party chats, three-way chats, and things like that. So do you and your team utilize those, and how does that look?
Every single time. If I have somebody come on and they're like, hey, I'm new, I don't really feel comfortable explaining this, do you mind hopping on? 100%. I'm like, look, I'm at your beck and call. This is my career. You know what I mean? If I can pay it forward and help anybody, I'm going to do it. You know what I mean? So I'm booking three-way calls. I'm booking chats if that's what the person's more comfortable with. Sometimes people don't like showing their face right away, which is understandable. So absolutely, because that third-party validation could be the one thing that changes that person's life and allows them to say yes, but changes everybody's life involved in the conversation, right? it's just something about somebody else coming in and saying, hey, this is a life-changing product. This is a life-changing opportunity. Hearing their story, that just, it can really set the tone and change the game for everyone involved. So 100% getting on and offering your time for a three-way call with your leader that you just enrolled. Don't ever just enroll somebody and leave them, be a sitting duck by any means.
And it also gives them someone else to, reach out to and hear from and help them feel like they're not alone as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, we do those a lot too. So, okay. So you talked a lot about self-development. Now you said you had like a book club with your team on your book, on that book you showed. Or you guys all read the same book or whatever. Now, what do you, other than like, is that all you do, is like just self-development books? Do you use like Audibles, YouTube? Do you watch videos? And how do you like share those with your team and help them with self-development?
Absolutely. Anytime I'm reading something, I always offer it to the team. I'm like, hey, this is amazing, or a golden nugget I got from it. I'm never going to be the leader that tries to tell somebody what to do. You can't go into management mode because you're not somebody's boss, but you can always lead from the front. You know what I mean? Like, I'll never have my team doing something I'm not doing, and I'm always in the trenches. Just because I'm a 200K doesn't mean my feet are propped. It means I'm starving for more. Let's go change more lives, and let's go beyond $1 million a month. Like, let's go. So I don't know. There are days, like I said earlier, where I'm not excited. That's human nature. Being a female, it is what it is. But even recently this weekend, I spent my weekend talking to people, planting new seeds, growing on social, connecting with people there, and literally pouring into myself. So I actually pulled up Eric Worre's YouTube. He is very successful in network marketing. He trains a lot of multimillionaires, and I just took notes. That's what I did that was my Sunday, right? Your Sunday may look different. Maybe you have kiddos and, you have laundry everywhere. I still have that. I mean, it is what it is, but I'm human too. But there are times where I'm just focused on pouring into myself. We don't do a book club per se, but anytime, we're all reading something, we all tell each other, right? There's just something about picking up an actual book that will change the game for you. And whenever I do my workouts, I rarely listen to music now. I'm always listening to an Audible. So John C. Maxwell Leadership was in my ears today. And he's a brilliant gentleman too in himself. So I highly suggest picking up a book from him. Very great at developing leaders, and leadership is the bomb. Eric Worre, again, very familiar with network marketing, and you'll learn so much from him. But yeah, I mean, you just have to be hungry for more. You can't be the person that kind of lollygags in business and then wonders why your paycheck is slipping. Well, what you do today is going to compound to tomorrow. You're setting up for tomorrow today. So what are you doing? Don't overcomplicate this. I wake up and I don't roll and scroll. I don't pick up my phone first thing in the morning. That's sacred time to me. If you notice that you have a busy day, make sure you're getting up and you're setting time for yourself, right? Whenever we plan things out, you'll notice that you're a little less stressed. You're a little less anxious. So I actually have this little pull-off daily planner. It is from, if you guys want to put it in the chats, Bliss, BLISS Collections from Amazon. It's like, I don't know, $8-10, but you can literally write everything down, your to-do list, your calls, even what you're working out and what you're eating throughout the day. It's just a really great way to stay collected and what you need to get done, because when you plan to have success, you will have just that without feeling like you're going by the way the wind blows, right? So it's just these little habits that compound, the compound effect. Fantastic book to read. But it's just these little things, you guys. And listen, consistency can feel like nothing's happening until it does. It goes unrecognized for a long period of time, but what you don't realize is behind the scenes, it's compounding. And then boom, it pops off like popcorn, right? Not every month is going to be popping like popcorn. You're going to have months where you're planting seeds. You're still working your business, right? You're still talking to people, but there's also months where it's just like, holy moly, I'm enrolling a ton of people. Like, that's fantastic. And they're getting their packs and we're onboarding and things like that. But you have to understand that it comes down to you. Personal development is everything. But I think a lot of times people just lollygag in the business and they put up a post and they talk to one person. No, you have to hit this with vengeance. Like, let's go, get hyped up. You did not come here to play small, right? So don't play small. Make this a priority in your life. Make it not secondary. Wake up and want success just as bad as you want to breathe. And I promise you, you guys will start seeing really great results in your business.
Yeah, absolutely. I know that when maybe my business isn't where I want it to be, or, you know, I'm down about something, you know, upset, I know that it's because I'm not doing the personal development that I should be doing. Like I've kind of been, you know, a slacker on that end. And so I know that I need to, you know, go find a book, go find an Audible or, you know, a video on YouTube and just kind of, you know, change my mindset and help get my mind right. Because I think if your mind isn't right, nothing else is going to be right in your life, right? And you know, that has everything to do with your business and how you are with your teams. And so yeah, I'm a big book person. I have like squirrel brain, so if I don't sit down and focus on a book, I can't do it. I can't listen to Audible. I can't, you know. So if I like even like a YouTube video, I can watch just because I can like see the person talking. So, but just listen to an Audible. So I love how like everybody has a different ways of learning things, and you know, there's so many different options to do that as well. And it's, you know, especially YouTube is free, and you know, we were just talking the other day about like books and like, you know, you finish with a book and that you love, and you can like send it to, you know, a sideline or a downline, and you know, and then they can send it to someone, so it's like a book swap, you know. And I love that. All right, so what is one last really big tip that you can give everybody on here that maybe just starting out, or maybe you know, in a rut right now? What can you, just one big thing, you know, that you can give them, you know, to help keep them going?
Consistency. I mean, literally every single day show up, but don't make it harder than it is. Have that conversation with yourself in the mirror and just say, am I really putting 100% effort in here, or am I not? You know what I mean? Like, I had some notes. Hold on. I will spit some of this off really quick. How we view things is how we do things. So if you're not believing 100% that you can actually have success here, do you think you're actually going to put 100% effort? Common sense says no, right? But if you're somebody that's like, no, I want to change my life or death, like I'm sick of having more days in the month than income coming in, like dang it, come hell or high water, we're going to make this happen. You get fired up every day because you don't want to live like that anymore. That for me was the change. I was like, I don't want to live in a hotel room eating McDonald's on the holidays anymore, right? I wanted more out of my life, and I knew I deserved more. So regardless of your upbringing, regardless of your current circumstance, regardless of your situation growing up, you can always make a change, and you can always change the trajectory of your life, but you have to make some changes within you, because being lazy is never going to cut it. All right. Putting your business on the back burner, or saying, oh, I can't get on that meeting, I would rather watch Netflix. Like, no, dude, like, the people that are successful barely watch TV, right? I'm not saying I don't put like Housewives on in the background, but I'm saying in general, you know, just make sure that your priorities are where they need to be the rank you want to be, to live the life you want to be, to change the lives you want to change. You have to make sure that you're understanding that what you're doing right now or not doing is compounding to what your life is going to look like tomorrow, a week from now, a month from now, a year, 5 years from now. Okay, our business is very simple. You guys show your face, be genuinely you, connect with new people every day, sample your face off because our products are amazing, and just hit the ground running. But your energy is going to, like I said earlier, reflect or deflect people. If you're, oh, well, this person doesn't want to buy, of course they don't. Look at your attitude. They're vibing off of you, right? So you have to come correct. You have to make sure that you are excited, and you may have to make sure you know the value of what you have your hands on here, and it is greatness. There's no other company that does it like us, and I will boldly say that. And there's no other product that works like what we have and does a multitude of things in the first 30 minutes of our days, right? So we have to have that confidence in what we're sharing, that it's going to change a lot of lives. And understanding that you're worthy, understanding that you can absolutely do anything in this life, but you just got to get your mind right. You got to get in check. You got to relinquish the self-doubt and the limiting beliefs, and just understand that you can do this. because you can. Make the decision today and let's go.
Wow, I love that. I do have a question for you about team conflict.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe because, you know, the majority of people in this industry are women. And we all have so many different personalities, right, that we really have to, you know, work with. And so there's conflict everywhere, right? You know, maybe people aren't getting along, you know, maybe that, you know, they don't like what their upline is doing or something with their downline. Have you seen any of that within your organization? Have you dealt with that? You know, because I know that I have, and I know many other people have. So how have you dealt with that? You've experienced that?
We have a very high no tolerance for negativity situation in our team, and I mean Court has set the tone for that, and it's just trickled down, right? So we even have like what we call chat norms. Like if there's something popping off, we send a chat norm, and basically it's just like, this is what is acceptable in the chat, right? And it's just a graphic, and we'll send that and be like, this isn't tolerated, figure it out, we're not doing it. And even again, it all goes back to personal growth. Like I don't dabble in negativity, I vibrate high AF. Like I don't dabble in it, and I don't allow myself to go there. And when I notice it within the tribe, which is rare, like we can go on retreats and everybody gets along, which is crazy because we are all females, and I'm like, what is happening? But it's awesome, and it's a great feeling. So you just have to realize, hey, don't dabble in it, and shut it down right away. Shut it down, or they're out of the chat. Bye.
Yeah, I'm the same way. There's no negativity in my chat, and you know, there's always that one off where, you know, you have to go into like a side chat, be like, okay, let's, you know, let's deal with this outside of, you know, the team.
Right.
So
right.
yeah, absolutely. I think that's something that's inevitable, and that I think, you know, you're gonna find really in any type of industry that, you know, there's lots of people that work together. So.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Coop, thank you so much for joining us today. Oh my gosh, this was so amazing. I appreciate you dealing with me instead of Lisa.
You're amazing. You're amazing. You're amazing.
Thank you so much. I know Lisa always says, you know, it's Tuesday and it's like we get paid twice, right? Because we get to hear from you and other, you know, 200Ks and your, you know, we get to hear your wisdom and, you know, helping us, you know, grow and be better with our business. And we also get paid in a few minutes, right? So love Tuesdays. So thank you so much. You know, go follow Coop, don't friend her, follow her. And you know, because I know that she's fire. So I can't wait to follow your journey and learn more from you. Thank you so much.
I appreciate you guys. Thanks so much for having me. You guys are awesome. Be well, be blessed. Take care of yourself, and know that you are freaking capable. Let's go rock out Tuesday.
Thank you.
Love you guys. See you later.
No problem.